नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह देने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया। हरि शरणं 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 हरि शरणं
चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to all the participants on weekly interpretation session. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I, Tanushree Mehta, invite you all for the verge of completion of 4th chapter interpretation last part. In this last part, we'll come to know the deeper meaning of yoga of knowledge as well as disciple of action and knowledge. Now, let's move to the prayer. Prayer is formed to connect with God and seek blessing for oneself and others too. It enlightens individual more mindful and grateful for the prayer. So for the prayer, today I would like to welcome H.N. Shivkumarji from MP, retired officer. Hobbies include social work, studied till MSc, MTech, serving as trainer in all the 4 levels and also contested classes. joined Geeta Pariwar in August 2021. Welcome, Bhaiya.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya. Thank you, Bhaiya, for the melodious prayer. Now, lighting up lamp makes environment pure, divine, and full of knowledge. For deep ritual, I would like to call upon Hema Chauhanji from Sonipat, Haryana. Teacher by profession, hobbies include collection of old coins, archaeological sites, known about ancestors, known about different art forms, studied till B.Ed, serving as L1, L2, L3, L4 Tech in Hindi, Marathi, and Bengali language, also in monitoring team and calling team. Joined Geeta Pariwar in July 2021. Welcome, Didi, for the deep ritual.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for the divine deep ritual. Now it's time for the most awaited and most anticipated part of today's session. Our distinguished speaker of the day, Vikas Vaidya. Qualified till BE Tech, PGDM, NRI for 12 years, have traveled all over the world owing a small IT company. Staying in Pune, you all will be surprised to know that Bhaiya knows languages like Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, Spanish. Recite all 18 Adhyayas of Gita every day since last over 5 years. Trainer in Geeta Pariwar from L1 to L4. Enrolled in trainers, selection and trainers training program from L1 to L4. Involved in teaching and revision of Vishnu Sahasranam as member of Pune Geeta Pariwar. Also guiding students of Geeta Vati to prepare for Shrungeri Peeth Geeta exam. I'd like to call upon Bhaiya for short chapter interpretation last part. It's an honor to welcome you, Bhaiya. Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. परम पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन. We are discussing Adhyaya 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Today we will try to conclude last session. Last time we have covered up to slok number 20. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिः प्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Living, relinquishing, abandoning all attachment to the result of his activities, return reward of his activities, that means karma phala, and one who is always satisfied and independent within himself. He does not perform any sakam karma, punitive action, although he is engaged in performing all sorts of actions. This is what we had discussed last time. We move further. Nirashirta chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha sharirang kevalang karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. Now here Paramatma says that one whose who is already controlled his body, one who is bereft, who is devoid of any desires and expectations, and his mind and body is fully under his control, and he is perfectly balanced, then he performs all necessary actions, having given up all possessions and concept of ownership, kartrutva abhiman, and no bhoktrutva. So such a person, he incurs no sin. So the most important thing in this shloka, Paramatma says, is take control of your body and mind. Now it is easier to take control of your body than your mind, because mind is subtler than body. We have 5 senses of perception, 5 jnanendriyas, and the mind is regarded as the ruler of these senses. The mind in turn is governed by prana, pranavayu, prana, the vital life force that we have in us, without which our body is a dead body. So that vital life force, it governs the mind, and mind governs the senses. So if you want to rein in your senses, if you want to control your senses, then you need to bridle your mind first, fix your mind first, unwavering. And if you want to control your body, then you need to regulate your prana. The question is, how do you have any knowledge about the functioning of prana? How do you know what is prana and how does it function? So, for you to be able to control prana, you first need to understand its functioning. What is the functioning of prana? How does the prana function? How it works in the body? And in order to learn the know-how of controlling your prana, you first need to purify and balance your body. And this is through the practice of asanas. So asanas is the beginning of any spiritual journey. Asanas will lead you to purification of pranas. See, if this body is the most important tool for your spiritual evolution. If the body is sick, you can't have that. And if you have not controlled the body, and if you have not controlled and mastered the body, you will be unable to master, to bridle your mind. So to control the mind, you should first perfect your body. Perfecting the body is through asanas. And asanas are meant for balancing the body and balancing the body's energy. Now the one who is in control of body, this is what Lord says, one who is in control of his body, whereas our current situation is that the body controls us. It is just the opposite. We meet many people wherein they are sick when you meet them, but after a few months, when you meet them, they have started recovering. Maybe they go to some Patanjali yogas, or they start doing some asanas, pranayamas and all that. So this is a perfect technique of repairing your body and consequently repairing your mind and then starting your spiritual journey. The one who has gained the mastery over his body and with his resolve either start or stop the functioning of body of any part, he can have that kind of mastery. Yogis, they can stop their breath for months. We should not try that, of course. But there are people who can control their body to any extent, which is unimaginable for us. So Paramatma says that those who have controlled their body, for them, this yoga can be started. First, controlling the body through asanas, then pranayama, and pranayama makes your mind brittle, and then you can try to control your senses. So this is the ladder through which we have to go. Now the second point mentioned by Lord in this shloka is about the relinquishing of your possessions. Possessions. Tyakta sarva parigraha. Now this does not mean that you ought to throw all that you have owned so far. That does not mean so. Give up your house, give up your money, give up your utensils, give up your furniture. No. That is not the meaning of it. Keeping as much as is needed for the sustenance and maintenance of your body is not a sin. So that you must retain. But people have a tendency of collecting things of material pleasure. If I have one house, 2, 3, 4, no limit to that. I have one car, 2, 3, 4, no limit to that. So this Paramatma is asking us to desist from this kind of tendency. So Sri Krishna keeps saying that again and again that don't run away from your responsibilities in the name of God. Keep doing your karma. Keep collecting money, nothing wrong in that. But it is for your sustenance. Don't be greedy about it. Rather, he says that transform your worldly duties from being tedious to being source of divine joy. So whatever activity you do, even for the materialistic world, do it with joy. This is what Paramatma says. Slok 22. Yadruchalava santushto dvandvatito vimatsaraha samassiddhava siddhaucho krutva pinanibadhyate. Content with whatever you have and whatever comes out of its own accord. Yadrucha, without wishing. Yadrucha, lava santushto, being satisfied with the gains which come on its own accord, with no special efforts for gain from your side. In Hindi, अपने आप जो मिलता है, यदृच्छा लाभ संतुष्टो. So this is one, and then dvandvatita, all durities, free from all durities, dvandvatita, and devoid of all malevolence, all matsar, and equipoised in success and failure. Yadruच्छा लाभ संतुष्टो द्वंद्वातीतो विमत्सरा समसिद्धाव सिद्धोच. Siddhi or asiddhi, favorable or unfavorable, you remain equipoised. That is samasiddhava siddhocha. Such a person is not bound despite performing his actions. So this qualification, yadruchala, dvandvatita, vimatsaraha, and samasiddhava siddhocha. If we attain these qualities, then we don't get bound by our own karmas. He is satisfied with whatever comes to him effortlessly. He has no desire, no expectations, but actions keep happening through him. And he is not content with the consequences, irrespective of what they are. Neither despondent in defeat, nor very, very boastful in victory. Samasiddhava siddhocha. Now, let us check where we stand. The fact is that slightest achievement, it fills us with pride, and slightest failure fills up with despair. So this is not siddha or siddhocha samma. This is not that. Even a very, very trivial victory or success makes you want to shout aloud on the rooftop. You gloat, you boast, and some even get photos printed in the newspaper that he has achieved so much. And some sundry come to know about your achievement. So everybody comes to know your about achievement, whether it's connected to your note. What is the point in publishing in the paper? You tell your relatives, friends, that is enough, no? But publishing in the newspaper. On the other hand, even the most insignificant failure or defeat makes you totally despondent. You feel ashamed, and then you try to hide from people. So Paramatma doesn't support this kind of behavior. This is the art of living, wherein you do all appropriate, virtuous, righteous deeds, but with the non-doer attitude. No kartrutva abhiman. And when you are the non-doer, you are the non-bearer of consequences of your actions. You have not done it because you are non-doer. It happened through you. You are observing it only as a witness. You are not a doer. When you are a non-doer, then how can the consequences of your karma will bondage you? So, Parvata says, I am nothing and nothing belongs to me. This is what attitude we should have. And then who will be affected by that disparagement? What will be the significance of respect or disrespect then? He can treat everything as samasiddhava siddhocha. Once he has this attitude of not doing anything by himself, when he has no kartrutva abhiman, when he knows that he is not a non-doer, he is a non-doer, then nothing binds him. So the self-realized man has no expectation from this world, and thus he lives in the present moment without labeling it as good or bad. Only the present moment exists for him. There is nothing before it, there is nothing after it. We either live in the past or we live in the future. We rarely live in the present. So the past has become nothing, and the future also has no existence in the present moment. We don't know what is the future holding now. So why to worry about it now and spoil our present? All that is the present moment, and thus live in the present. Slok 23. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasaha yajnaya charatah karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya. The one who is unattached to the material world. Sangasya is attachment. Gata is gone. He has left all asaktis, all attachments. So the one who is unattached to the material world, who offers all actions as a yagya, as a sacrifice to the divine, and who is firmly established in the transcendental knowledge, spiritual knowledge, all actions of such a liberated being get dissolved. Gatasangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasa yajnaya charata karma samagram praviliyate. Praviliyate is dissolved, gone. So the Lord beautifully describes the attributes of self-realized man here. Devoid of worldly attachments, Gatasangasya, established in the knowledge and performing all actions as if he is performing a yagya. So whatever action we do, if we perform with this sentiment that we are performing a yagya, that is what the Lord is expecting in this shloka. Now let us understand that yagya does not mean the ritualistic or that oblation, havan that we do in the agni, in the fire. That yagya is not referred here. The term yagya has been used as a metaphor wherein all actions are offered, dedicated into divine, just as the offering. Whatever I am doing, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. That is the attitude we should have for all actions that we perform. And offerings are made in the external ritualistic yagya, not in that fire. Whatever I think, whatever I do is for the divine, by the divine, for the divine. So this is the attitude we should have. This is called Yagya in Bhagavad Gita. Now Yagya means virtuous actions, acts of merit, actions which are dedicated to the Lord. And let us remember that even a seemingly low act of like sweeping the floor can become a Yagya. Sweeping the floor can become a Yagya. If you perform it joyously and dedicating it to the divine. You clean the place in a temple and enjoy that once. Try it once. Likewise, when the activities like cooking, eating, walking, talking also can become a yagya, provided we do it joyously and offer it to the divine. See, the attitude changes when you do so-called worldly activities. And it is different when you perform any religious or ritual activities. Both have different. Now, whatever the task is, be it physical, emotional, mental, or intellectual activity, when you do it without attachment or having dedicated to the Lord, then every activity becomes a yagya. Generally, we see people don't enjoy their work. So the lady of the house cooks in irritation sometimes, and serves in anger. Something has happened, so she is angry. Okay. So she derives no joy whatsoever and regards cooking as an unwanted activity. Instead, the attitude of the cook, then be it a woman or a man, should be such that it is being cooked for the Lord, and while serving, don't see if the person is related to you or not. You like him or you dislike him. Rather, see the divine reflecting in every face and thus feeding the person lovingly. Then the cooking, the serving becomes a yagya. So this is the yagya according to Bhagavad Gita. And one who performs this yagya, he does not get bound by his karmas, by his activities. Slok 24. Brahmarpanam brahmahavir brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Now in next few slokas, Paramatma is going to explain us 12 types of yagyas. 12 types. Even if we follow one of them, we will be a changed person. Brahmarpanam brahmahavir brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Many people recite this sloka while taking food. The oblation is Brahma. Whatever offering you are making in the Yagya is Brahma. The person making the oblation too is Brahman, is to Brahma. Brahma is all the offerings made into that fire. See, Brahmarpana. Arpana is the utensil with which you offer it in the Agni of Yagya. So that utensil through which you are offering is Brahma. The material that you are offering, whether it is ghee or wood pieces, chandan pieces, whatever you are offering the fire is also Brahma. The person who is offering is also Brahma. And which, thus the Brahma is attained. And whatever you attain after doing all this is also Brahma. So everywhere this person is seeing Brahma only. Like a jaundiced person sees yellow thing everywhere. So he sees Brahma everywhere. So this is a well-known shloka which is chanted by traditional sannyasis and even some householders before they eat their meals. This food is Brahma. The one who eats is also Brahma. The fire which will digest the food is also Brahma. The resultant energy from that food is also Brahma. Thus the Brahma is interacting with Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Food is consumed by the body. The one who identifies with this body and one who sees himself as Brahma, but there is a huge difference between the two. If you want to understand this shloka in the context of ritualistic meaning of the word Yagya, that means the sacrifice of some material in the Agni, that Yagya, traditional Yagya, what we call it, then by igniting a that sacred fire and pouring offerings like clarified butter, to ghee, the incense sticks in that, then Lord is saying the material being offered into the fire is Brahma, the sacrificial fire is Brahma, the one who makes this offering is Brahma, the one who chants the mantra is Brahma, and the fruits of this Yagya is also Brahma. The one who leads his life in this way, seeing Brahma everywhere, in every form, in every event, in every action, in every person, he is always in a state of samadhi. He sees Brahma everywhere. Such a person does not have to take any efforts to sit in samadhi at any specific time. He is in samadhi all the time, whether he is working or is not working, because he is working with that kind of view in mind. Whether his eyes are closed or open, he is always absorbed in the divine, the supreme Brahma. So this is Brahmarpanam Brahmavir, Brahmagno Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. This is one type of Yagya. Next, Slok 25. Daivameva pare yajne yoginah paryupasate, Brahmagnama pare yajne yajne naivopajubhati. Some yogis, they engage in worshipping by offering different sacrifices to the demigods, where Yanis offer knowledge as sacrifice by the Brahma in the fire of Brahma. So the Lord says there are some yogis who worship deities or demigods by offering that sacrificial oblation, that refined butter or incense sticks or whatever, into that fire and chanting the mantras. But other yogis do not engage in this kind of ritualistic concept of Yagya. Their Yagya is different. What they do, for them being in steady remembrance of Brahma is Yagya. So they always remain absorbed in Brahma. So for them, this is Yagya. This is second type of Yagya. Now third type of Yagya. Shrotradini indriyanyanye sayyama agnishyobhati. Shabdadin vishayanyanya indriya agnishyobhati. Shrotradini indriyanyanye. Shrotra. So we have 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. So Shrotra is one, eyes, ears, nose. So these are all the Jnanendriyas we have. Now Paramatma says that there are some people, some attain control of their senses by offering the senses such as hearing, Shrotra, as a sacrifice in the fire of self-control, Sayyam. Sayyam is Agni, Sayyam is fire. When you offer your senses in that Agni of Sanyam, some people perform that kind of Yagya also. Whereas others, they offer the sense objects. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These are the sense objects. Every sense has object. Eyes have object of seeing. Ears have object of sound, Shabda. So, some people, they offer these sense objects as a sacrifice in the fire of senses. That is, experiencing the sensory world without any attachment. That is offering in the fire of senses. Eyes are there, so they will continue to see, but whatever they are seeing, it doesn't go inside us. That is sacrificing the sense objects in the senses. Sense and sense objects, when they meet, they will continue to work. Whether we absorb it in our antakaran or not is up to us. So when we see outside things and keep them outside, then we are sacrificing our sense objects in the senses. The fact is that once one attains self-realization, then whatsoever that person does becomes a yagya. In short, this is the definition of yagya. The Lord says that some yogis, they attain control, restraint over their senses, ears, nose, eyes, these senses, and prevent them from interacting with their sense objects. This was that Shrotradini and Sanyamagnishyavati, first line of the shloka. And other yogis offer the sense objects as a sacrifice in the fire of senses, which again is a yagya. For example, the ears listening to the sound is in effect a sacrificial yagya of the sound in the ears. We are offering the sound in the ears. Likewise, eyes seeing colors and forms is in effect the yagya of colors in the eyes. Similarly, be it eating, be it walking, is all yagya. Is all yagya. This is amazing. On one hand, yogi is performing yagya by exercising self-control, self-restraint over his senses and preventing them from interacting with the sense objects. This was the Shrotradini Sanyamagnishyavati, first line. And on the other hand, the other is experiencing the sensory world through his sense organs. Shabdadin Vishanini Indriya. Indriya and Indriya objects, sense and sense objects, they are meeting each other, fine. So some other people, they don't stop their senses from going to the sense objects. Their yagya is, senses are meeting the sense objects, but the reaction, resultant reaction doesn't enter into them. So they are offering the sense objects in the senses. So this is the yagya. But both these practices, whether it is restraining the mind or restraining the senses, preventing their interaction with the sense objects or allowing the senses to interact with the sensory world, are in effect yagya, or both are yagyas. This is because the actions are being performed with a non-doer attitude. I am not the doer. With that attitude, you perform the actions and without any attachment or aversion. So any such activities which I perform, then that comes in the category of yagya. That means what you do is not important, but how you do it and with what attitude. Now that is of paramount importance. One becomes renunciate, sannyasi, and there is no ego in his renunciation. Then this renunciation becomes a yagya. The other does not renounce the sensory world. Instead, he interacts and interplays with the sensory world, but with the attitude of detached witness as a non-doer. Hence, this way of experiencing and interacting with sensory world is also yagya. So sannyasi, taking sannyasi is also yagya, and a person living, a family person like us, he can also perform yagya living in this very world. So Shri Krishna is saying that one whose mind is devoid of attachments, who has the attitude of non-doer, such an individual opting to experience and interplay with this material world, with the sensory world, is also yagya. So we can perform yagya in our day-to-day activities also, as simple as that. And the other who opts to withdraw his senses from the sense objects. Example is tortoise, withdraw all its limbs into the shell. That withdrawal of senses from sense objects is also yagya. 27. सर्वाणीन्द्र कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्म संयम योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञान दीपिते सर्वाणि इंद्र कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्म संयम योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञान दीपिते सर्वाणि all इंद्रियाणि senses कर्माणि actions of senses prana karmani functions of our life breath life energy prana atma sanyama yogagno in the fire of self restraint atma sanyama is the agni itself jnana deepite in the light of spiritual knowledge wisdom. So Paramatma says another yagya in this shloka, others offer the activities of all sense organs and interaction of prana, the breathing that we do is our prana, the vital life force, as an oblation into the knowledge illuminated fire of yoga, which is established in the supreme divinity. So this is also one yagya. Now there are yogis who stabilize and establish the senses in the mind and the mind in the prana. They establish senses in the mind and mind is established in the prana. So this is also a sort of yagya. So some yogis sacrifice, offer all the actions of their senses, indriya karmani, and all actions of their life energy, prana karmani, in the fire of self-restraint, atma sanyam, which is ignited, created by the light of spiritual wisdom. The Sayyam can come only through spiritual wisdom. Sayyam doesn't come to ordinary people like us unless we have that spiritual wisdom in us, then only we can have that fire of Agni in us, in which we can sacrifice Indriya Karmani and Prana Karmani, both. Shlok 28. Dravyajnastapo yajna yoga yajnastatha pare swadhyaya jnana yajnyascha yataya samshita vrataha. Dravya yajna, the sacrifice, donations, possessions like say money, clothes, food, all sorts of charities that we do, but that should be earned through legitimate means. So that is dravya yajna. Tapo yajna. What is tapo yajna in our life? We don't go to tapa, we don't stand on one leg like tapasvis do. So full devotion to the God of your choice, you follow the subject, you follow some rules, of the day-to-day behavior, whether it is Chaturmas or Ekadashi. This is one yagya, tapo yagya. Another tapo yagya is while performing your day-to-day activities, while performing your prescribed duties, your kartavya karma, you come across a lot of difficulties. Some favorable situations, some unfavorable situations. Handling all those situations and still continuing with your swakarma, your prescribed duty, is a tapa for us. So day to day, whatever prescribed duties we perform towards our friends, relatives, parents, there are difficulties coming, of course. But ignoring those difficulties, when we continue to perform our duties towards them, that is also a tapa. Yoga yajna. Yogas are of many types. Hatha yoga, Ashtanga yoga. This is also a yoga yagya. And yoga yagya is also the samatha yoga yagya. Samatha yoga means remaining equipoised in all situations of say respect or disrespect, profit or loss. This is yoga yagya. Samatha yoga. Yoga is samatha yoga, which is described at length in several shlokas in Bhagavad-Gītā. So dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna. Swadhyaya. What is swadhyaya yajna? Swadhyaya yajna is self-analysis of your own actions. Swadhyaya. Self-study. Study of self. And preaching or telling about whatever you have learned about say Geeta, about Ramayana, about Vishnu Sahasranam, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge with others is also a swadhyaya yajna. There is a phrase here used in this word, in this shloka. Dravya yajna stapo yajna, yoga yajna statapare, swadhyaya jnana yajnashta, yataya samshita vrataha. Now what is the samshita vrataha? Samshita vrata, it's a very famous phrase used in Vedas. It consists of 5 controls which you should have. One is non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and refrain from hoarding, a parigraha vritti. So non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and refraining from hoarding. This is called yama. These 5 things are called yama, and people who follow this yama, they are called samshita vrata. So this is samshita vrata. So some offer the wealth and their possessions, others offer their austerities, and others offer their practice of this 8-fold yoga, what we discussed, as a yagya. Whereas others offer the study of Vedas, Gita, Ramayana, and all that, the knowledge as a yagya. So in this shloka, the Lord is listing the various yagyas. Dravya yajna, if it involves offering the wealth or objects for the benefit of other people. The person earns money and then uses part, not all, of what he has earned for charitable purpose, puts it forward in the service of the needy people. And let us remember that not everyone can do this yagya. Just as not everyone can do the other yagyas, which we have discussed so far. So everybody cannot keep on donating. It depends on how much he earns and how much he needs for himself. So this is another type of yagya. Paramatma is describing this shloka. Now we go to 29. 29 shloka. Apane juvvati pranam prane panan tatha pare pranapanagati rudhva pranayama parayana. So some people, pranapanagati rudhva pranayama parayana. Pran is the breath going outward and apan is the breath coming inward. If you hold your breath, that is ahuti, that is sacrificing in apan. That is called purak. We do pranayam, we inhale. So if you hold your breath in apan, that is purak. Similarly, if you hold breath in your breath, that is in prana, that is called rechak. And if you stop both prana and apan, then that is called kumbhak. So we do this pranayam. Many of us do this pranayam. We inhale, purak, we hold it, kumbhak, and then we exhale, that is rechak. The count generally is 4 count for purak, 16 counts for kumbhak, and 8 counts for rechak. So this is also called yagya. This is also called yagya. Inhaling, holding, and exhaling the breath is also called yagya, cleansing of mind and body. So some yogis offer apanavayu in pranavayu as a yagya, while others offer pranavayu in apanavayu as a yagya. Some other yogis sees the functioning of prana and apan, thus perfecting the practice of pranayama. This too is a yagya. So this is another type of yagya Paramatma explains in this shloka. Slok 30 is explaining another type of yagya. What is slok 30? Apare niyatahara pranan pranesha juvvati sarvepyete yajnamito yajnakshapita kalmashaha. Other yogis who consume a well-regulated diet, niyatahara. Niyatahara is important. So they consume a very well-regulated diet. They offer prana into prana. What does it mean? We'll see. All such yogis whose sins have been destroyed by yagyas are the true knower of yagya. Apare niyatahara pranan praneshu juvvati sarvepyate yajnavido yajna kshapita kalmashaha. Yajna that burns our kalmashaha, our papas. Now it is holding of prana by prana. This is called stambha vritti pranayam. That means absolute restraint of the breath. Wherever the breath is, you hold it there only. Maybe very difficult. We should not try it without a guidance. That is called stambha vritti pranayam. Example is, we see frogs. In the rainy season, we frogs everywhere. But when the summer starts, all the frogs, they disappear somehow. They almost become dead and they hide themselves deeply in the sand somewhere. If you move it, it doesn't move also, that frog. But next year when the rains come, that dead looking frog also starts jumping again. So they hold the pranas. So there are some yogis who can hold pranas for days, for months, for years. That is called Stambhavati Pranayam, and that is also a sort of yoga. So in this, we have to have control over diet and appetite, and the one who eats without being attached to the food, and the one who offers merges prana into prana. That is that pranayama. That is also called a yagya. Performing of these yagyas of prana gets purified of all of our sins. Yajna kalmashaha. Slok 31. Yajna shishtamrutabhujo yanti brahma sanatanam nayan lokosti yajnasya udonyah kuru sattamam. Now Lord says, Yajna Shishta Amruta Bhujo, Yajna Shishta, the result of such performance of Yagya, Amruta Bhuja. Amruta Bhuja, those who have tasted such nectar of Yagya. Yagya is a nectar. Yanti, Yanti, to reach, to approach. Sanatanam, eternal atmosphere. Kuru Sattama is calling for Arjuna, Kuru Sattama. So the Arjuna, such yogis who have tasted the nectar of knowledge, as a result of performing these yagyas, they attain eternal supreme Lord. Yadishishtam Brahma Yanti Brahma. Brahma is supreme. So they attain that Brahma through these yagyas. Even this material world is not a source of joy. For those who do not perform any kind of yagya, those who do not perform any of these 12 types of yagya, they do not perform their prescribed duties. For them, Paramatma is saying, who do not perform this yagyas, even this material world is not a source of joy for them, then how can they receive joy of other paraloka, sublime world after death? So such an individual who does not perform yagya cannot attain joy even living in this material world. Then how can he expect or hope for any heavenly joys after the death of his body? Cannot. This means create your practice right here and now on this earth and with this very body what you have. Do not harbor any negativity for anyone, neither for yourself nor for anyone else. No negativity, absolutely. And then do not question others' demerits. Just accept what everyone behaves as per their innate nature. Don't keep commenting on others. Don't do this, do that. He is behaving as per his innate nature. You have no right to comment on him. And then they behave as per their prakriti. Simply move on. Accept it and move on. Do not harbor any kind of aversion also for anyone. See, the moment a thought arises in your mind that such and such person is bad, you create an impression in your mind and that keeps running in your mind about that person. You end up wasting your time and energy. And what do you achieve in this? Nothing. So, Paramatma says, don't harbor this kind of sentiments of criticizing others. All that you are seeking is right within you. Brahma is within you. But as long as you do not realize this, you will remain a pauper. So we can be very, very rich when we recognize Brahma within ourselves, or we can remain a pauper. Thus carry out your yagya and perform actions which should be attachmentless and expectationless, and then accept whatsoever you perceive choicelessly. This is the message. Slok 32. Evam bhavida yajna vidata brahmano mukhe karmajan viditan sarvani vaidnyatva vimokshase. Having explained all these 12 yagyas, now Lord is saying to Arjuna that all these different types of yagyas have been explained in detail in Vedas. Brahmano mukhe, Vedas. Understand that these are created by the activities of body, senses, and mind. These are the tools for performing any kind of these 12 yagyas. There are some other yagyas also explained in Vedas, as Lord says. And thus knowing that they are all born of action, you need to do some karma if you want to perform yagya. When you understand this, that your karma is a yagya, and you perform your karma as a yagya only, then you will be liberated of all your bondages. So the one who regards his entire life to be Yagya, who surrenders to the Lord and performs all actions bereft of attachment, devoid of attachment and egoism, such an individual, his life is full of joy, equanimity, and peace. What else we want? We want joy, equanimity, and peace of mind. And when this mortal body drops off, that means when we die, emerges, dissolves into the eternal supreme Brahma, never to come back again on this earth. The Lord says, I have described all the Yagyas described in Vedas to you, Arjuna. Shri Krishna has further explained a wide variety of different Yagyas in these 3-4 shlokas what we have read today. The issue is not which Yagya you choose to do. The important point is that you lead your life with a choiceless awareness, wherein you surrender to the cosmic energy, that means to the Brahma, para Brahma, where you are not the doer even for a single moment. You are not the doer. So leave Kartrutva Abhiman, leave Bhoktrutva, and perform your duty as a prescribed duty, as your Kartavya Karma. That is a Yagya you are performing in your day-to-day life. The attitude of being non-doer strengthens. When you have the attitude that is, I am the doer, mere karan ho raha hai, I am the doer, what happens? It strengthens your ego. And the egoistic people can never be full of joy. Furthermore, the ego will lead you to surfacing of Rajasi and Tamasi gunas within you. So they lead to Rajasi and Tamasi gunas, your ego. So do everything as a non-doer and get rid of this Rajogun and Tamogun as well. This higher knowledge is not meant for the self-centered Rajoguni or Tamoguni people. It is meant for those who are Sattvaguni, filled with devotion and who have surrendered to the Lord. Slok 33. Shreyan dravyamaya adhyajna jnana yajna parantapo sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Now in this shloka, Paramatma says, Shreyan dravyamaya adhyajna jnana yajna parantapo sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Arjuna, Jnana Yagya, the sacrifice of offering knowledge, is far, far superior to Dravya Yajna. We have seen what is Dravya Yajna, what is Jnana Yajna and all that. This is because all karmas, all actions ultimately culminate in knowledge, in Jnana. So Jnana is the ultimate destination of all your karmas. Knowledge is the culmination point of all your actions. Shri Krishna is saying in this shloka that Jnana Yagya is the way superior to Dravya Yajna. Offering some donations to people or doing some work here and there, okay, fine, that is also good. But Jnana Yajna is much superior to that Dravya Yajna, because Jnana Yajna leads to fulfillment of worldly desires only. The Dravya Yajna, I mean. While Yajnas like Dravya Yajna, Japa Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Ahimsa Yajna, etc., are all good in their way. Paramatma is criticizing those. They are all good in their way, but in essence, they are all external tools. They are the actions which are taking for the outside world. Whether it is Dravya Yajna, or whether it is Japa Yajna, whether it is Tapo Yajna, whether it is Ahimsa Yajna, whatever Yajna. So they are in essence are all the external tools meant for purification of Antakaran. They lead to purification of Antakaran, no doubt. The only one whose Antakaran has been purified is eligible to receive this Jnana Yagya, higher knowledge. That means all these Yagyas are the tools which help one to acquire the requisite eligibility to receive knowledge, that means to perform Jnana Yagya. So all Yagyas, what we discussed, Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna, all they are meant, they are the tools so that you can achieve the status of performing a Jnana Yagya. And all these Yagyas are in a way preparations for the final Yagya that we need to perform, that is Jnana Yagya. Jnana Yagya, eradication of all your ignorance, that is Jnana Yagya. Yogis like Japa, Tapa, Swadhyaya, Raja Yoga, Raj Yoga, they help, they definitely help the mind. They definitely help the mind to become centered and purified. But ultimately, everybody's objective should be to remove the ignorance. That is perform the Jnana Yagya. Shri Krishna is saying that all other Yagyas are preparatory tools for performing the higher Yagya, that is Jnana Yagya. See, the Lord is not demeaning, not berating other Yagyas. These Yagyas are important and essential because it is by performing them that one acquires the requisite eligibility needed to perform the Jnana Yagya. So it is also important to remember that Jnana Yagya, though the topmost in the list, other Yagyas are the steps leading to the top. Now the traditional way of obtaining Jnana, Paramatma is explaining. Slok 34. Tadvidya pranipatedah pariprashneena sevaya upadekshyanti jnanastatpadarshinaha. Lord says to Arjuna, okay, I have explained to you all this. But if you don't believe me, if you want to consult some other expert, please feel free. Try to understand this knowledge from an enlightened master. Tatpadarshinaha, enlightened master, by sincerely inquiring. Tadvidya pranipatana, go offer your namaskara to him, render service to him. Sevaya, the one who has realized the truth can instruct you in attaining this knowledge. Then he will impart this knowledge to you. You can go, this is another route of obtaining the knowledge. Go to a Jnani and understand from him about the knowledge. The Lord says that go to a master, but following the requisite protocol. What is the protocol? Observing the requisite decorum. And the right behavior, right protocol means surrendering oneself to the master. Only then you should ask the requisite questions which will make you understand and which will lead you to eradicating your ignorance. That means obtaining your knowledge. But the basic intelligence is needed to know what questions to put forth to the master. Basic intelligence has to be there in you. For that, you have to have some self-study. You need to do some study of Adhyatma, spiritualism, before you go to a master. Otherwise, you end up asking some useless, meaningless questions to the master. Waste of his time and your time as well. A fool will only ask foolish questions. So let us not be fool. There needs to be some kind of some foundation of knowledge before you can ask some pertinent, relevant questions. So Krishna is saying, go to the master, following the appropriate traditions, and then put forth the appropriate questions. Again, following the decorum. Then the master will impart such knowledge that will be revealed, that will reveal the truth, the ultimate truth to you, the truth which is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, and beyond the intellect, and it will eradicate all your ignorance. And this is another way of obtaining the knowledge. Slok 35. Yajñatmana punarmoham evaya sisi pandavo yena bhutanya sheshena drakshasya atmanyatho mai. Now, having obtained this knowledge, higher knowledge from that Tatpadarshanaha, from that yogi, from that Jnani, you will never be deluded again. What is the delusion in the mind of Arjuna? Fight or not fight? They are my friends, my relatives. Should I do it or not do it? So, this kind of delusion will never come again in your mind. Because this knowledge will enable you to see that all the living beings are but a part of you. Your own real self, which is none other than the eternal bliss, part of Paramatma, truth, all pervasive, super Brahma. So you will get this knowledge from that Tattvadarshanaha, that Yajñatmana punarmoham evam yasis vandava yena bhutanya asheshena. All, no shesh, all. So the Lord is saying to Arjuna that having obtained this supreme knowledge, you will attain the supreme Chaitanya. How? The Lord says, through your own intellect, you will glimpse the supreme Brahma in your own Atma. That is the knowledge you will obtain. You will experience this veritable truth that the fragment of Brahma is within you. Slok 36. Apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvajnanaplavenaivam vrijinam santarishyasi. Now, even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah. Amongst all sinners, you are the most sinful person. The raft of knowledge will undoubtedly ferry you across the ocean of sins and miseries. Apichet sudaracharo bhajate mam nindabhag sadhurivasa mantra samyak vavasito saha apichet disi papebhya sarvebhya papa krutva sarvai jnana plavenevam. Sarvai jnana plavenevam, the raft, the boat of Yagya. The boat of Yagya, the raft of Yagya will ferry you across this vrijinam santarishyasi. Vrijinam, this ocean of sins and miseries. So the Lord says, don't fret, don't worry about how bad you were in your previous karmas. Don't worry about the sanskars of previous karmas lying in your subconscious mind. Forget about all that. Just contemplate upon the higher knowledge, and once you can sit in this ferry of knowledge, remain assured that you will get across this ocean of sins and miseries. Never ever doubt about this. The best example we see in our mythology is about Valmiki, Maharshi Valmiki. He was a robber, he was a killer, he was a murderer in his previous karmas. But once he obtained the knowledge, all his previous things got washed out, got burnt. And he led the life of a Maharshi. So whatever sinful act you might have committed in the past, once you obtain this knowledge, everything gets burnt, everything gets wiped out, and you are on a totally different path altogether. Apicedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittama sarvajnana plavenevam vrijinam santarishyasi. Slok 37. Yathaidan samidhogdhir bhasmasat kurute Arjuna jnanagnis sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Now this is another example Paramatma is giving, that after obtaining this knowledge, it is like just as blazing fire reduces all the fuel to ashes. The fire is burning, you offer wood to it, you offer paper to it, everything gets turned into ashes. Likewise, Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge. It reduces all your karmas into ashes. No karmas will again bind you. All karmas turn into ashes with this Jnanagni, this fire of knowledge. So once this fire of knowledge blazes within you, it will reduce all your actions, meritorious and unmeritorious, sakam, nishkam, everything, sattvic, rajasi, tamasi, all karmas to ashes. Just as a fire does not discriminate and burns all types of fuels, likewise the fire of knowledge, it burns all karmas and samskars indiscriminately. Indiscriminately is important. But here it is important to understand what is knowledge. Reading or listening to the words of knowledge is not knowledge. Only when you gain first-hand experience of that transcendental knowledge, that in effect is real knowledge. You have to experience it, not by reading and writing, but experience it within yourself. As you keep on practicing, as you keep on listening, as the mind starts to become quieter and quieter, and eventually when it becomes completely stilled, completely thoughtless, then the awakening of that Chaitanya, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, happens. And this Nirvikalpa Samadhi is Gyan. So this is Gyan. And we are all striving for this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Gyan, the higher knowledge. Hence, we should know that as long as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirvikalpa, with no desire, no spruha, no icha, that kind of Samadhi does not occur. As long as this does not occur, till that time your karmas, your samskars are not going to get destroyed just by reading or listening to the word of knowledge. You yourself should enter into that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, then only these karmas will get burned. By reading some Gita Vivechan or by listening to some Vivechan or by seeing some YouTube article, this will not get burned. You have to do it yourself. You have to practice it yourself. Words of knowledge are akin to signal posts that we see on the highways. They guide the travelers, which shows the path and directs him to the destination. But that is not the destination. These are just the signposts. Likewise, these Vivechanas or this YouTube or whatever things you hear here and there from experts, these are all the signposts. They will drive, they will show you where to lead, where to go. That is not the destination. The destination, the goal is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and all these things are our signposts for that. Slok 38. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramih vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. In this world, there is no purifier like higher transcendental knowledge. Paramatma is praising the importance of knowledge. And this knowledge is experienced by one whose mind is absolutely purified and who is himself perfected in yoga, samatha yoga. In this context, let us understand that Gyan and yoga are not two different paths. Gyan is different, yoga is different. No, they are not different. But rather they are complementary to each other. Yoga is very much a part of Jnana because Raja Yoga imparts the optimal level of mental purity and single pointed concentration required for becoming eligible to understand the higher knowledge. So we have to prepare. That means if you cannot say that you are treading on the path of Jnana Yoga, you have nothing to do with Yam, Niyam, Asanas, Pranayama. You cannot say that. These are all the steps which you have to follow. You have to cross. We have discussed how to control your mind. The route is through asanas, pranayamas and all that. So these are the necessary steps which you have to follow. If one listens to the knowledge with the impure antakaran, then all that will happen is that his ego will get further bolstered, will get further bigger. And hence, he will end up getting further entrenched or further bondaged in his karmas. Ego is very bad for that. So half knowledge and with impurified antakarana, if you get that, then it will help only in boosting your ego, nothing else. So he listens to the statement that I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. But he misuses this to lead a life of tamaguna. When you don't deserve to be called I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, then if you are saying this Aham Brahmasmi without deserving to say this, then it shows your tamoguna. So he justifies it by saying that I can do whatever I want because after all, I am a Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. But merely saying this Aham Brahmasmi doesn't help. You have to first acquire that qualification, that knowledge. Then only you can say this. Otherwise, it will result only in boosting your ego, nothing else. So all such people, we should remember that this is not Brahma. When you say Aham Brahmasmi, this is not Brahma. This is Brahma. Brahma means delusion, confusion. And this thinking reflects their Brahma, not Brahma. Brahma and Brahma are two different things. Listening is step number one, but it's just the beginning. And you cannot bypass the practices which are required to be done in order to purify your mind. Unless mind is purified, you cannot be reaching where you want to really reach. Your mind has to be equanimous, equipoised, balanced. And then you can lead a balanced life only when your mind is balanced. Slok 39. Shraddhavallabhate jnanam tatpara sanyadendriyaha jnanam labdhva param shanti machirena adhigacchati. Important. Paramatma says the one who has complete faith, Shraddha, and is dedicated to transcendental knowledge, who has conquered his senses, that person, he attains higher knowledge, and having attained that higher knowledge, he attains the supreme peace. He attains the supreme peace. Shraddha vallavate jnanam tatpara sanyadendriya. Sanyadendriya, the person who has controlled his senses. So now, what does it mean to have faith? What does the faith mean? Seeing the Guru as being equal to the God, that is faith. That is Shraddha. Undeserved, unquestioning, implicit faith and surrender to the Guru, that is faith. No doubts whatsoever, and regarding the Guru as a form of God. Having complete faith in the Guru as a Brahma, the Guru is Vishnu and Guru is Shankara. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. To practically, literally believing every word of that shloka is Shraddha. That Guru is your Brahma. So this is faith. This is devotion. This is surrender. One who doesn't have Shraddha, in 17th Adhyaya there is a shloka, Ashraddhaya hutan dattan tapastaptam krutanitayat asatichite partha nachatat pretyeno iha. Whatever yajna, dan, tapa, sattvic karma you do with ashraddha, that means without Shraddha, it doesn't help you anywhere. It doesn't help you in this Manusya Loka, it doesn't help you in Paraloka as well. So Shraddha is a big thing. Without Shraddha, reading Gita is also of no use. You should have deep Shraddha about Lord Krishna. In Lord Krishna, you should have deep Shraddha. Every word of Lord Krishna should penetrate your mind, your intellect, enter your heart. That Shraddha you should have about Lord Krishna. So the other prerequisites Lord is saying is that subdued senses, Sanyatendriya, senses which are in check. And the Lord says, the one who fulfills these two conditions, devotion, surrender, and Jitendriya, Sanyatendriya, he is eligible to receive the Jnana. Furthermore, this happens not in some distant future, rather the one who is ready and prepared, he attains it instantaneously. And thus attaining the transcendental knowledge, he attains the supreme peace. Shanti achirena adi gacchati. Achirena, without delay. Gacchati, attain. What? Shanti, param shanti. Slok 40. Adnyascha shraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati. Nayan loko stinaparo nasukam samshayatmanaha. So the ignorant people who lack faith and keeps on doubting, he gets ruined. You doubt everything that is said in Gita, you doubt everything that is said in Adhyatma, then you are ruining yourself. Adhyasya shraddhanasya samshayatma vinashyati. He goes to hell. He cannot come up then. He is ruining himself. There is no happiness, there is no joy for him, neither in this world nor in the other world. This shloka is similar to what we just said about 70 shloka. Ashraddhya hudandattan tapastaptam krutankyat asatichite partha nachatat pretino iha. Similarly, Adnyasya shraddhanasya samshayatma vinashyati nayan loko stinaparo nasukam samshayatmana. Both are having almost similar meaning. There are millions of people who have no interest, no faith, no inquiry about the existence of God. Such people will neither get any joy in this world nor in the Paraloka, other world. Slok 41. Yoga sanyasta karmani jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantanna karmani nipadnanti dhananjayo. So the one who has renounced attachment of all fruits of actions, karma phala, he has relinquished all karma phalas, who has offered all his karmas to the Supreme, to the Lord, to the Parabrahma, whose doubts have been vanquished, eliminated, destroyed by the transcendental knowledge, such a person, established in his real self, is not bound by any karmas. Yoga sanyasta karmani, jnana sanchinna samshayam, atmavandana karmani, nibadnanti dhananjaya. How will the karma bind, and moreover, who will they bind? Who the karma will bind? The one who has surrendered to the divine, to the Parabrahma, who has burned his senses, who has surrendered his senses of doership, he is a non-doer. One who has subdued his senses and he has integrated his mind, who has burnt all his past samskars in the fire of Shraddha, in the fire of faith, in the fire of knowledge, such a person will remain a non-doer despite doing all actions, and thus karmas simply cannot bind him anymore. So non-doership is important thing. The one who knows and is established in his real self, one who identifies with his real self, he is never bound by any karmas. On the other hand, the one who identifies with body is always bound by karma, The first error is to regard this body as I. I am the body. This is the first error. The second error is to regard all those related to the body as mine, belonging to me. Now the cycle of auspicious and inauspicious karma will commence. When you say mine, not mine, then auspicious and inauspicious karmas will begin. In order to rectify these mistakes, the first step you need to follow is to take and disidentify yourself from the body. And the moment you disassociated your identity from the body, as soon as the I am body is dropped from your mind, all attachments also drop on their own of their own accord at that very moment. So Paramatma says, drop all this. You're not a body. So drop all attachments which the body has given you. Slok 42. Tasmadadhyana sambhutam hristai jnanasinatmanaha chitvainam sanshiyam yogam attishta bharata. Therefore, Arjuna, be established in this samatva buddhi yoga. Samatva yuddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga. Samatva buddhi we have discussed umpteen number of times. Whatever behavior you have with the outside world, do it with equanimity. He is closer to me, he is my enemy, he is friend, that other fellow is my foe. Not with that kind of thing. Everyone is same for you. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gabhyastini shunichaiva shvapakeja pandita samadarshana. Pandit looks at them, all of them in equanimity, because he knows Mame Vansho Jiva Loke is the fact. Paramatma's fragment is there in all of them. So who am I to distinguish, to make difference between them? So remaining equipoised, equipositioned when dealing with outside people, and similarly remaining equipoised when dealing with your own sentiments, your own emotions. Na pravrashit prem prapya, no dvijit prapya cha prem, sthira buddhira sambodo brahma with brahmani sthita. With little joy you start dancing, with little grief you start shedding tears. This is not samatha yoga. So you have to accept both in equanimity, remaining equipoised. So be established in this Samabuddhi yoga, and with the sword of knowledge, slash all the doubts which have arisen in your heart as a result of ignorance. You are not fighting this war because of your ignorance. You have doubts in your mind because of your ignorance. Remove all those minds with the sword of knowledge, what you have got now. And thus, armed with the knowledge, get ready to wage this war. Remove all your doubts with this knowledge. So Lord says to Arjuna, get established in this Samatha Buddhi Yoga. Know that which is sama, immutable, unchangeable. Is it the body, the mind, the intellect, the prana? No, they all change. This keep on changing all the time. What is immutable then? Your own real self, your own jivatma is immutable. It doesn't change. Thus, establishing your intellect in your real self is Samatha Buddhi Yoga. So know that I am the non-doer and I am the non-bearer of consequences. I am the detached witness. I can be nothing but detached witness only and only. This is my essential nature. I don't want to become a witness. I am a witness. I don't want to become. I am a witness in reality. So no karma can bind the self-realized being. Thus, what you have to do is erase this I and let all actions happen through you. Move away from the sense of doership and perform your actions with excellence. Sri Krishna says, get established in the higher knowledge of the real self, not in the body, intellect, mind, but in the real self. And then no karma can ever bind you. So this is the end of Adhyaya 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Let us read the Pushpika. Om Tat Saditi Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyāyai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Chaturtho Dhyayah. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Feel free to ask questions. Today we have got the shlokas rather swiftly because there was not much of time, and in these sessions we have to conclude the 4th Adhyaya. So If you have any doubts about any shlokas, feel free to raise your questions. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Paya, for making efforts to explain Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. Now it's time for the question answer session. Please raise your hand and on your videos and wait for your chance to come. Yes, Kalpana ji.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I need a little more clarity on shloka number 18, 18th verse. The
Yeah.
one who sees karma in a karma and a karma in a karma, he's a wise man. Please give a little more clarity.
Okay. The 18th
18th verse.
Yeah. Okay, let us read the 18th shloka for the benefit of all. We'll read 18th
Hanji.
shloka. Karmanya karma yah pashed akarmani cha karma yah sa buddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karma krut. See, in the earlier shloka, Paramatma has clarified what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma. Karmano yipi bodhavyam, buddhavyam cha vikarmana, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gati. To know whether the person is doing karma, akarma, or vikarma is very difficult. Even very wise, jnani people also find it difficult to do it. Now, we discussed in the earlier session, what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma. So let us revise those concepts once again. Karma is the daily karma that we do, which puts us under bondage, sakam karma. Every karma that we do, with maybe good or bad also, good karma also, sattvic karma also, but it puts us under bondage. Akarma is a karma which does not put us under bondage. Because we do akarma by removing those two poisonous teeth of our karma. One poisonous teeth is the kartrutva viman. I am the doer. If I was not there, this would not have been done. And second is putting sight on the karma phala, return reward expectation. So these are the two poisonous teeth of our karma which convert every karma into a sakam karma and puts us under bondage. If we remove these two teeth, then every karma that we do becomes a akarma. It does not put us under bondage. Now this shloka says, karmanya karmaya pashed akarmani cha karmayaha. So whatever karmas you do, you should be in the habit of doing it as a akarma. So it should become your daily habit to perform every karma so that that karma does not put you under bondage. Every karma that you do should actually be a karma. And that should be the way of doing your karma. Every karma should be done as a karma, and your day-to-day habit of performing every karma should be like that only. So that every karma becomes a karma. One who does this, sabuddhiman manusheshu, he is the intelligent among all human beings. So yukta krishna karma garu. He can perform all karmas, but still he gets free of all karmas. So perform every karma as a karma is the message of this shloka.
Thank you, Bhai.
Thank you.
Anil ji.
हाँ, जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna.
34 shlok. I think
Yeah.
what I understood is a paradigm shift, like change our perspective in all vikaras, correct, whatever bad thoughts we have in our life, and how to get a positivity, correct, leaving our ego. Is that what the meaning? Can you try to explain in your own thought, and how in our life, I think maybe more than shloka, how do your life change its perspective in your thoughts and your perspective? How do we change the paradigm shift and become from our bad thoughts, which comes in mind, although we try to avoid, but sometime it does come, how it will change as we go here?
You see, in today's session, we discussed 12 types of yajnas, right? From Brahmarpanam, Brahmavir, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. From that shloka onwards, still, apare niyata ahara, pranan praneshu jubhati, sarve pete yadnivdo, yajna kshapita kalmashaha. In these shlokas, we discussed 12 types of yajna. Now,
yes,
it's not expected that we perform all 12 types of yajna. Whatever yajna we can perform, we are expected to perform that yajna. And if we cannot do that also, then Paramatma is suggesting you obtain the jnana, wisdom, knowledge by going to a person who has already obtained that jnana, tattva darshanaha, tadvidya pranipatena. And the protocol is you go to him politely, offer your namaskaram, pranipat, sashtang namaskaram, pariprashtena sevaya. Offer your devotional service to him and then politely ask your doubt, your question about spirituality, whatever you have, how to obtain Paramatma, what is Nishkam Karma Yoga, what is Jnana, whatever questions you may have in mind, you politely ask to that person who has already got that wisdom, Tattva Darshanaha. Then that Upadekshantite Jnane, Jnananas Tattva Darshanaha. Then that Guru, that Tattva Darshanaha, will render you that knowledge which you have asked him, Pranipatena Pariprashnena. Politely, doing him namaskara, you have asked him some question about spirituality, about adhyatma, about how to obtain Paramatma, which yoga should I follow? I am a person of this background. Which yoga you suggest me, whether I should follow Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga or whichever, please advise me. So that Tattva Darshanaha will give you that Jnana, which yoga is best suited for you. So this is the meaning of this shloka 34.
Okay, Bhaiya. And then in a life, how do we change this ahankar, that thought is just by going through this process of own self-realization and come to the stage, like to ask a question, as you were saying, we should ask a right pertinent question.
Yeah. Anilji, it is expected that when we go and ask a question to a person who is an enlightened person, then we should ask some pertinent question. If you go to him and ask him, why do you wear saffron color clothes? Then this will be a foolish question to ask him, isn't it? So we should ask a question which is pertinent and which shows that, yes, we have certain degree of knowledge about spirituality and we are stuck here, and that is why we are asking this question. Now your question is how to bring that in our life. So we are studying Bhagavad-Gītā with that soul perspective, that we should have some basic minimum understanding as to why we have got this human life. The only purpose of our human life is to attain Paramatma. This concept should be totally clear in our mind, that the basic objective of human life is to do sadhana, meditation, bhakti, for only obtaining Paramatma. This life is not given for sensory gratification. मौज मजा करो, खाओ पियो, इसके लिए हमको जिंदगी नहीं मिली है, ये जिंदगी मिली है परमात्मा की प्राप्ति के लिए. So this thought should be clear in our mind, and the day we keep on reading Bhagavad Gita every day, this thought should get more and more strong in our mind, and then that is the beginning of our marching on the path of spirituality. The more deeply you go into Gita, the more knowledgeable you become, and then you start marching on your path of spirituality with better speed, with higher speed. So reading of Bhagavad Gita is one best alternative for bringing that kind of mentality in our day-to-day behavior. Take any shloka we already read third adhyay, and during third adhyay we discussed this also. That whatever shlokas we discussed in third, कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य. या आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्. You have controlled your senses, but in the mind, the same thought is going on, from which you have stopped your senses going to the sense objects. You have decided not to eat something, but mentally you are eating that. This is valid for all the indriyas. We have 10 indriyas, and every indriya has a different object. So when we are thinking mentally about it, Paramatma says it is mithyachar. You are cheating. You are a cheat. You are cheating me and you are cheating yourself also. So once we understand this shloka, then whatever karma we do, we should do with mano nigraha and indriya nigraha both. Once we apply this rule in our day-to-day life, we'll be a changed person, obviously. Isn't it?
Yeah.
कर्मेंद्रिय संयम्य is okay. संयम्य आपने डिसाइड किया कि मैं फास्टिंग करूंगा एकादशी के दिन, तो आपने संयम किया है, बट मन में वही विचार चल रहा है खाने का. तो ये श्लोक पढ़ने के बाद हमको ये समझ में आता है कि जो हम सोच रहे हैं वो भी गलत है.
हम कुछ कर रहे हैं तो उसके अनुसार ही हमारा सोच भी चाहिए।
सही।
एकादशी का या इसका उपवास कर रहे हैं तो खाने के बारे में सोचना भी नहीं है हमको। तो इंद्रिय निग्रह इज important, but mano nigrah is more important than indriya nigrah. So this one single shloka, if we follow in our day-to-day life, will be an enlightened person, will be a totally changed person.
कौन सा श्लोक है? तीसरे चैप्टर का कौन सा श्लोक है बताया था
This is
आपने?
number 6 from 3rd chapter.
Okay, I got it.
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि
Yeah.
संयम्य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते. श्लोक नंबर 6.
ठीक, मिल गया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भैया, आपने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
गीता जी।
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया।
जय श्री कृष्ण.
36 in jnana, in different shlokas, exact what jnana, and in 36 especially it says api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakritamah. The whatever papa or bad karmas, it is jnana rupi, raft or whatever, the boat. What is the jnana rupi?
Okay. Let us discuss it in totality. Apichedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakritamah. Even if you are the most sinful of all sinful persons, पापियों में सबसे ज्यादा पापी यदि आप है, even then, the day you obtain this knowledge, which is given by Paramatma in this adhyay as well as in 3rd adhyay, because 4th adhyay is almost an extension of 3rd adhyay. Both are talking about karma and about sadhana. So, apichedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakritamah sarvai jnana plaveneva. The jnana that you have obtained, that jnana will work as a boat, and this material life through which we have to cross through to attain Paramatma. Unless you cross over Paramatma's Maya, you cannot attain Paramatma. And this Maya is full of miseries and sorrows. So Santarishasi, this ocean of miseries and sorrows, you can cross over with this boat of Maya. So when you obtain this jnana, even if you are the sinnest of all sinful persons, you sit in this boat of knowledge, wisdom, and then you can easily cross over this material life of sorrows and miseries and attain Paramatma. So jnana has been appreciated so much by Paramatma. It has been put.
Yeah, that's jnana. Essence of that jnana.
Essence of jnana is that 2 ways. One is, I am not the doer. Okay, things are happening to me, but I am not the doer. Paramatma says, I created Srishti, I created Brahman, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudra, Parantapa, everything I created, but I am not the doer. So when Paramatma says I am not the doer, who are we to say I am the doer? Then again, this body, this senses, this intellect, this mind has been given to us by Prakriti. Our body belongs to Prakriti. And as we discussed, we are fortunate to be human beings in this life. Next life, suppose we get some other species, horse, then we'll get the horse body. Is it in our hands to get this body? Have we decided that I will become human being? No. So then why should we claim that this body is me? And why should we claim that everything done by this body is done by me? When this body itself does not belong to you, why do you claim that this body, whatever it does, is done by me? The fact that one has to understand the true knowledge is that you are the soul and not the body. You are the kshetrajna and not the kshetra. When you go to 13th adhyay, kshetra vibhaga yoga, you will understand this concept more clearly, that we are soul and not the body. This is the knowledge, that I am the soul, I am not the body. And the soul is a mere witness, he is a non-doer. This is further extension of that knowledge. And when the soul is not a non-doer, it doesn't get bondaged. But the day you associate yourself with the body, that is the gross mistake that we do. And this is the knowledge, that we should not associate ourselves with the body. We should disassociate. We should disassociate ourselves from the body. We should disassociate ourselves from all the attachments of material life. This is the knowledge. So once we have this knowledge, we can cross over this ocean of miseries and sorrows easily.
Shri Vidya ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna, I have two questions. I just want to understand prana and apana. And second question, Guruji, you told that we have to surrender to the Guru. But nowadays, like, sorry to tell, we don't get such kind of Guru now. If you see, like, for example, a school institution, educational institution, where everyone is money-minded, then how the children will get surrounded to the Guru when the Guru himself is on the materialistic world?
See, first of all, prana and apan. When you do pranayam, you inhale, hold, and exhale. Right? So you take prana, and apan is you exhale. Okay. So this is prana and apan. And about Guru, before you select your Guru, you should be very watchful. But once you accept somebody as your Guru, then you have to totally surrender to him. We discussed once a story, I don't remember whether in this class or some other class. There was a villager who had this Shraddha, but he wanted to have a Param Siddhi, that I should have some magical Siddhi in me so that people will respect me. I want to attain some Siddhi. So he went to a Guru. That Guru was a fraud. He was a cheat. But this fellow trapped. He got trapped in his this thing, and then he asked him, Swamiji, can you give me Siddhi? So Swamiji, that fraud Swamiji, he said, you serve me for 12 years and then you will get the Siddhi. So that fellow very obediently, he offered all services to that Swamiji, right from giving him a body massage, giving him a shower, cooking for him, doing every possible thing for him. He did it for 12 years. And after 12 years, when he asked Swamiji, Swamiji, now I have completed 12 years. Can I have my Siddhi? Can you please give me the Siddhi now? So Swamiji said, you have served me for 12 years, now you already have got the Siddhi. Oh, really? I have got the Siddhi? Yes, you have got the Siddhi. Can I walk on water? Yes, you can walk on water. Then that fellow villager had a deep Shraddha, faith in his Guru. Though the Guru was fraud, but Shraddha was real. The faith was real. So the villager went to the river in that village. The Guru also followed him. All the villagers followed him. This villager put first foot on the water, second foot, third foot, and he started walking on the water. Shraddha. He crossed the river, then he again came back. Guru said, you can walk. The Guru thought that he is my disciple, he is my Shishya. If he can walk on water, I should also be able to walk on water. Then he said, okay, now watch. I will also walk on water. Okay. Then Guru put his first foot on the water and then he got drowned because he had no Shraddha. So when you select a Guru, that villager selected a wrong Guru. He was a fraud Guru. But still he could attain what he wanted to attain. Isn't it? So that's why before you select a Guru, be watchful. Select a Guru after due diligence. But once you select a Guru, then you have to follow all his instructions.
So Guruji, like prana is inhalation, apana is excretion, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, exhalation. Sorry, exhalation.
Yeah.
And you told that anilom, like breathe in and holding it. Can you just
explain? Holding the breath is kumbhak. Kumbhak. And exhaling is rechak. Exhaling is rechak. Huh? So you consult some good yoga teacher if you want to do pranayam. There are several types of pranayam. Okay. Purak, kumbhak, rechak. There's only anulam vilom, which I said the proportion is 4 times purak, 16 times kumbhak, and 8 times rechak. That is the proportion of purak, kumbhak, and rechak.
Okay, thank you.
Santosh ji.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. My question is on the similar Shlok 29, Pranayam Yajna. So that various types of yajnas are described. In Pranayam Yajna, there is no direct link to Shraddha, Bhakti or faith or Gyan.
Yeah.
So how does it still help? And second question is that how can we choose which yajnas to follow to move our journey forward? Because there are too many yajnas described.
Yeah. So first question first. See, pranayam, it cleanses not only your body, but it cleanses your mind as well. So pranayam is a tool for mind purification as well. Okay. So when mind is purified, definitely you will not do any tamasic karma, or you will do very minimum of rajasic karma. Most of your karma will be sattvic karma, because pranayam has cleansed your mind as well. Okay. So Shraddha or your faith and doing pranayam are two sides of the same coin. When you are doing pranayam, you are indirectly putting Shraddha in your mind, because your mind is getting purified, knowingly or unknowingly. You see any yogi who is doing this pranayam sadhana and all that, normally he will be a sattvic person, normally. In very rare cases, maybe he may be some other type, but normally he will be a sattvic person with good thoughts. Clarity of thoughts he will have, and he will be a person of good karmas generally. So pranayam cleanses your mind and body both. And second question you asked about which yajna should I follow. Now 12 yajnas have been informed by Paramatma in these shlokas. We received the jnana about 12 yajnas. The easiest of yajna for all of us to do is swadhyaya. Can we do self-study? Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? I have learned Geeta. Have I understood Geeta? Can I study Geeta in more details? How to study Geeta in more details? How to study Vishnu Sahasranam in more details? So this swadhyaya, knowing and absorbing knowledge, and then doing the adhyayan of swa, self, is something for which you don't need any outside tool. This you can sit on your easy chair, close your eyes, and can do contemplation, manan chintan of these things. Take any shloka of Bhagavad Gita, which you like the most, and do contemplation of that shloka. You will start getting deeper and deeper in yourself, your swa. That is also yajna. Doing swadhyaya, going deeper in your swa, is also yajna. So that yajna is something which you don't need any yajna, fire or any material to offer in the yajna. No such need. Sit on a chair, close your eyes, do contemplation of any shloka of Bhagavad Gita from Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga or Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Atma Sanyam Yoga, any yoga. That itself is a yajna. And Paramatma says in 18th Adhyay that one who studies this Bhagavad Gita is doing a Jnana Yajna for me. So study of Bhagavad Gita itself is a Jnana Yajna. Paramatma says in 18th Adhyay, when we'll discuss 18th Adhyay, Paramatma says, those who are studying Bhagavad Gita, I consider, me mataha, Paramatma says, I consider them that they are performing Jnana Yajna for me. So this is also Yajna. What we are discussing is also Yajna.
Thank you. Yeah, nicely explained. Yes.
Thank you.
Anita ji.
हाँ जय श्री कृष्ण भैया जी।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
हाँ मेरा ये क्वेश्चन था, मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ, ठीक है?
जी।
ओके। मेरा ऐसा क्वेश्चन था कि जो हम ये जो ब्रीदिंग और प्राणायाम जो करते हैं ना, उसमें थोड़ा सा मुझे जो डिफरेंस लगा कि आपने जो बताया ना कि 4 times 4 count inhale, 16 counts hold and 8 counts exhale. तो ये सेम आपने बताया, सेम ब्रह्म विद्या में भी सिखाते, सिमिलर है, लेकिन मैंने वो ब्रह्म विद्या का किया है तो सिमिलर देखा। लेकिन पहले मैंने आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग का जब किया था तो वहाँ 4-4-6 करके है। तो ये जो डिफरेंस होता है तो इसका भी बेनिफिट रहता है क्या? क्या ये थोड़ा सा मैं समझना चाहता हूँ।
देखिए ट्रेडिशनल वे जो अनुलोम विलोम का है वो तो 4-16-8 ऐसा है, ठीक है।
ओके ओके।
लेकिन अभी यदि आपको किसी ने और कुछ बताया होगा, 4 4 6 या ऐसा कुछ बताया होगा, तो उनका
हाँ
प्रोपोर्शन अलग है, और उसका क्या फायदा है वो आप उनसे पूछे तो बेहतर होगा, जिन्होंने
ओके।
आपको यह
नहीं, अभी
थोड़ा अलग
आर्ट,
बताया है।
जो आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग में जो सिखाया जाता है ना, ये अभी तो बहुत वर्ल्ड वाइड है उनका।
हाँ
तो वो भी म्हणजे उसका भी अच्छा खासा बेनिफिट है। तो थोड़ा वो ये जो डिफरेंस बेटर कौन सा है, वो थोड़ा सा मैं आपसे जानना चाहता था।
नहीं, इसके लिए तो आप किसी योगा टीचर को पूछेंगे तो ज्यादा बेहतर होगा। मैं कुछ आधा अधूरा ध्यान दूंगा तो वो ठीक नहीं होगा। आई एम नॉट ए योगा टीचर, बट
ओके
आप किसी योगा टीचर को पूछेंगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा बताएंगे। लेकिन 4
ओके
16 और 8 ये जनरल प्रैक्टिस होता है।
ओके भैया, ओके ओके, धन्यवाद।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
Prabhupada, please on your video. Unmute yourself, Didi.
हाँ, वह इनकी कुछ गलतफहमी हुई है मेरे को, ये इसलिए मैंने उस समय बोला कि वो जो एओएल में बताया है वो 4 4 6 वाला, वो उज्जयी प्राणायाम है, दैट इज नॉट अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम, ये बताना था उनके लिए।
हाँ, तो प्राणायाम के बहुत प्रकार होते हैं
तो
ना।
प्राणायाम के बहुत प्रकार है। तो
हाँ,
वो जो पूछ रहे थे ना कि 4 4 6 वाला
नहीं,
बताया और वो गलत है कि ये गलत है,
दोनों
दोनों
सही है।
सही है, दोनों सही है। मैं ये बोल रही हूँ, इसका नाम पर जो 4 4 6 वाला है वो है उज्जयी प्राणायाम है, वो
हाँ।
सुदर्शन क्रिया में सिखाया जाता है। और
हम्म
अपना ये जो है वो अनुलोम विलोम वो अलग है, नाड़ी
बस,
शोधन वाला और अलग है।
हाँ,
हर एक के अलग अलग प्राणायाम
गलत
है
है,
बहुत।
सही बात है। तो हो
तो
सकता
वो
है
भी
अभी
गलत
आपको
नहीं है, यही मेरे को बताना था, और
ये बात
प्रश्न
है
नहीं
आपकी
था,
जो
ये बताना था,
ये कई
इसलिए मैंने
प्राणायाम
उस
बहुत
समय
प्रकार के हैं।
हाथ
जैसे
ऊपर
कि
किया
कि
उनका
प्राणायाम के
क्लियर
हाँ,
करने के लिए।
सही बात है। इसीलिए मैंने कहा प्राणायाम के इतने प्रकार है कि हम कुछ इस बारे में चर्चा
एग्जैक्टली
करें, इतना
वो
हमें
4
कम।
4 6 वाला भी करेक्ट है, और वो तो है ही,
हाँ, लेकिन
गुरुजी
4
का
8
दिया
16
हुआ है वो पूरा
4 16 वाला भी
पैकेज,
करें। हाँ, सही बात
एक्सपर्ट गुरुजी का है वो।
है। ओके,
तो वो उज्जयी प्राणायाम है उसका नाम।
सही बात है, सही बात।
भाई साहब को मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि वह फ्री है, बाद में रिपीटर्स के लिए आपने यदि किया है तो रिपीटर्स वालों में फिर से एक बार वो कर सकते हैं, तब समझ में आ जाएगा, फिर क्लियर हो जाएगा उनको।
सुन लेंगे आपकी बात को। ठीक है, आगे किसी और
हाँ, वो इसीलिए मैं बोलना चाहती थी कि वो भी सही है, ये भी सही है।
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद,
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।
प्रिय दर्शन जी।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री
जय
कृष्ण।
श्री कृष्ण भैया। हाँ, ये इसी बात पर मुझे भी थोड़ा सा एक शंका थी। आपने कहा कि 4 में आपने पूरक करना चाहिए,
हाँ,
उसके बाद 16 काउंट्स तक हमने होल्ड करना चाहिए, दैट मीन्स ये अंतः
कुंभक।
कुंभक।
हाँ,
फिर उसके बाद बाहर को 8 काउंट्स, पर
हाँ,
बाहर करने के बाद उस कुंभक में, मतलब बाह्य कुंभक में कितनी देर रुकना है कि रुकना ही नहीं है?
नहीं, वो सांस छोड़ने के बाद आप इमीडिएटली सांस ले सकते हैं ना। मतलब आप
मतलब
पूरक
कोई
पूरक
कुंभक
चालू
उधर?
कर सकते हैं, पूरक
जी।
चालू कर सकते हैं। यदि आप एक्सेल करेंगे,
हाँ
रेचक में आप एक्सेल करेंगे
जी।
8 काउंट में, तो
हाँ
एक्सेल करेंगे तो पूरे आपकी चेस्ट खाली हो जाएगी ना।
जी, सही बात है। उसके बाद वो बाह्य कुंभक
तो
में
आप
कुछ
आप
रखना है?
उसके इमीडिएटली बाद सांस ले सकते हैं ना।
हाँ ठीक है, वो मतलब कुछ बाह्य कुंभक में हमें होल्ड नहीं करना है।
होल्ड नहीं, बायो कुंभक ने होल्ड नहीं करना है।
ठीक,
हाँ,
बहुत धन्यवाद आपका, और बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका ये सुन करके। धन्यवाद।
Thanks a lot, Bhaiya. I think there are no more questions now.
ओके।
Thank you for clarifying the doubts of each of the participant. Last but not the least, sincere thanks to tech team remaining at the back end and making this event a grand success. Now it's time for the prayer. I will call upon Sanjeev Saxena ji from Manjar, Gujarat, studied till MSc Electronics Diploma, Senior Manager in Wellspun Company. His hobbies include research, innovation using technology, serving as Tech, GC, Pracharak, Calling Seva, joined Geeta Pariwar in July 2021. Welcome, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया, दीदी जय श्री कृष्ण। योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं वजप्रियं धर्म संस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को।
Thank you, Bhaiya, for a melodious prayer. Now we'll play Hanuman Chalisa. Being on mute, please chant Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर बल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धिनो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Thanks to everyone for attending this session. Knowledge gained here will be used all over your life. Now we'll meet next week. Till then, learn Geeta, teach Geeta, and live Geeta in your life. Jai Shri Krishna.